welcome to Talking Small Press Comics, episode 47, with Steve Keeter right over here, and me, Larned Justin, right here. So
that way, that's Larned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so once again, we have comics from our trip to space that we collected at space, purchased, traded for, all that. So we continue with those for this episode.
Yeah, we were in space. You know, we took Elon Musk funded it, and we took a rocket ship up
to Columbus, Ohio. You wouldn't even think you could do that, but you can.
I thought we were in outer space with William Shatner.
Oh, I thought we were in Columbus, Ohio, and that was outer space.
I think you're right. That's inner space. That's space. Never mind. Forget me. Don't worry. I get a little weird sometimes.
Your mind is pretty well shot.
I'm retired. I have too much to think about.
Well, think about what comic you want to look at first.
Well,
what do you want to look at?
I think I want to talk about this one.
Oh, yes. This is very interesting.
Pam Bliss.
This is from Pam Bliss, The Walking Garden. And be careful. On the front it says, I am not a mammoth.
I'm a mastodon.
It's a mastodon, yes. Not a mammoth. And the mastodon goes for a walk. And I'm just going to open to a random page. There's a random page here.
This is totally cool.
And it tells you what the mastodon is kind of encountering and all that along the bottom. And then there's word balloons where the mastodon is kind of talking or thinking. And this won a Space Award in the mini comics category, by the way.
Yeah, well deserved. It's kind of satirical. It's funny, but it's very beautifully written.
Very
poetic,
different.
Kind of poetic, actually.
There's a little bit of a poem in there, and it's
Well, when I stopped
today, go ahead. I was going to say this bubble says, "Today I seek beauty and experience." Talking to the man in the moon, who serves coffee, I think.
Yeah, the understanding proprietor recommended, an outdoor display of ceramic art.
Yes, and which they do get to right there.
Right. But, I wandered by Pam Bliss's table, and I stopped there, and, and I just wanted to find something that we could review on the show, but I wish I had picked up a lot more. And I can tell you, because she is so talented, the artwork, this is beautiful. I mean, it's really nice. It's surreal, and it definitely deserved that award. It's it's not like anything else you'll read.
No. Now this is $4 postpaid from Pam, and I'll have her info in the description. And this would be a good one to pick up because it is an award winner. Maybe ask her to sign it. That'd be kind of cool. But this would be a nice one to have.
I should have asked her to sign it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have a new appreciation for Pam and for her artwork. I mean, she is.
I went to
so good.
She has a web page. It's a mythical town in Indiana, and she just creates little things around this little mythical town that she made up, which is very similar to the town she lives in. She lives in Valparaiso, Indiana.
Okay.
But she has made up another name for an imaginary town in Indiana. And from there you can go to, I think, her webpage from that. That's a kind of a blog. But that information is all in here, and it'd be kind of fun to follow that. So.
Yeah, and I was really impressed with this. I was really impressed. It's one of those beautifully written, beautifully illustrated comics I've seen in quite some time. So, you know, kudos to Pam. You did a brilliant job, brilliant work. You deserve, you know, this reward.
She puts out a tremendous amount of work also.
We
She
should
has
all
a
send you
lot of comics.
We should all send you lots of money. The government should send you money just because you're so darn good. No, but
and come to think of it, the government should send me money also.
Yeah, they should send us money.
Just as a general principle.
If they do, we'll say nice things about them. It doesn't matter, you know, who's the president or whatever. But
not if they send money. Hey, you send money, buddy.
That's it.
You are in.
That's for sure.
Okay. What do we got? What do you got?
Well, we got a lot of good stuff here.
Yeah.
This one here, this one's called One Punch.
Oh yeah, One Punch. This is very cool. One Punch. This is by, I want to read, if I can, without glasses on. I got to put glasses on to be able to read this because somebody printed it very small.
Well, this is by Michael Marcus.
The story and lettering are by Michael Marcus.
And Marco Evans.
And Marco Evans does the artwork, which is excellent. Very cool.
Yeah.
And it's about an ordinary guy that gets involved with superheroes.
Well, you know, he gets involved with supervillains first because he's just an ordinary guy with a good punch, and he has a close encounter with these bad guys.
But he lives in a world, it says right here, that in a world of superheroes. That's where he lives, but
he's just not one of them.
Anyway,
but he encounters a team of supervillains. There's 3 of them. There they are, looking quite menacing. You got the one guy who's going to rob the bank, and you got a guy playing a violin, which kind of mesmerizes the people in the bank, so no one will interfere.
Right.
And then they smash in. They're breaking into the vault. You know, they're going to take all the money and everything. But somewhere along the line, it's not just him. He's got a friend too. He's got a friend who goes toe to toe, fisticuffs with a guy named Fayhammer. And this is the friend. And these are the fisticuffs. But it doesn't go too well for him. But what happens, the bad guys go like a little bit too far. And our hero, what's his name? By golly.
I don't know.
One Punch.
Missed it somewhere in here.
We'll just call it One Punch.
One Punch,
but they go a little too far.
Yeah.
And our guy, who doesn't have any superpowers, comes across this scene.
Yeah.
Where the bad guys are taking advantage of a beautiful woman, and the bad guys have superpowers, but he just one punch, whammo, thus he becomes known as One Punch. And One Punch, and the thing is, he has a ring, a silver ring, and apparently the silver ring negates the other guy's superpowers.
Always comes in handy.
So, I like that, what you're holding up there.
Yeah. The one and only step to being is action. You got to take action.
That's right. Don't just stand there and do nothing.
Yes.
I mean, because people these days are inclined to, there's a crime being committed. Let me get my cell phone out.
Run away.
That's my daughter. She looks like me, right?
Yes, she does.
Yeah, I just happened to pick that up, and there she was.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what they do. They all take cell phone pictures of the crime, and nobody interferes. Nobody jumps in.
So this guy did, and it will cost you $1 to find out the story.
And it makes him a target, of course, of the other bad guys.
Yeah.
They're not too happy that he knocked out their buddy. I will show you this picture because I think the screens are. It's beautiful.
That's a splash page at the back.
Yeah.
The ugly stick.
Really nice. Really nice.
Then there's some other information about the Infinity Files right here. that you can read, and there's a title for you. It says Infinity. There are a number of different Infinity titles here.
Yeah, Infinity Fantasy, Infinite Fear, Infinite Femmes, Infinite Folly, Infinite Force, etc., etc., etc. And I guess
you just contact Michael at that. I'll put that in the description also.
And I wonder if Marco Evans, was he at the space convention? I remember there was another guy at the table next to Michael, Marcus. And it was a pleasure.
We met Michael a couple of times, but I never did meet the other guy. If he was there, I never met him.
We almost had breakfast with Michael Marcus.
He was staying in the same hotel we were.
Same hotel, and we looked over at the next table, and there's Michael.
Yeah.
And he's a cool guy, and he's a great talent. So you know, that was nice to meet him. And space was a blast. If you guys missed it, go back next year, because we're probably going to be back next year, and yeah, it's going to be huge. It's going to be enormous. It's going to be 20 times as big as this year, because we're going to be there, and we're going to announce it ahead of time. So I'm just saying, folks.
Yeah. Possible.
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
Let's go on. We got more. We got more from space. That's for sure.
This one is interesting.
Okay.
Stephen Hager was just across from us. I mean,
he was right. Yes, very close. Now the
artist
artist
directly across
was not able to come. Bruce Rosenberger, who is the artist. Steve is the writer, and Bruce Rosenberg is the artist, and he was not able to come to the show. I think he had an automobile accident and injured his legs. So I think he was on the mend, if I understood right, but not able to come to the show.
But he did an excellent job on the artwork. It's cartoony.
This is very simple, everyday occurrences down on the farm.
Yeah.
And I would think these folks are maybe Quakers, you think?
Yeah, Quaker. It looks like a Quaker.
Looks like Quaker. I think...
Well, I was looking online, and you see Stephen Hager. He looks somewhat like this picture by Al Milgrom.
Stephen has the bib overalls and a long beard, real long beard.
This is flattering. Stephen, you look good, right? But this is this makes you look 20 years younger, I got to tell you. I want Al Milgrom to draw me, you know. I really do. But
Terry Flippo on the back drawing
Terry
this.
Flippo.
There you go.
One of the best, one of our favorites, definitely. And
but this story is just kind of neat. It's just basically very simple, down on the farm kind of stuff.
Yeah. I want to mention William Messner Loebs, another one of our favorites. You see him in Yeet all the time. Yeet Presents, but yeah, he's a pro, and he looks like a pro. I mean, it looks great. So he did the inside back cover.
He did the inside back cover. So these guys have connections. They get the folks to help them out a little bit, but they don't need much help. Their story stands on its own. Very nice little story.
You got these people, and they're doing a radio show.
Yeah.
A radio show, standing up with the microphones.
The thing is, you got to see the radio, because that's right. Where's the radio? Right in the beginning. Here's their radio.
Right there.
Is anybody old enough to recognize that kind of radio?
I'm old, but I'm not that. Oh, you are? You are that old?
I'm old enough that my mom and dad had one.
Larned is that old.
Yes. Older than dirt, as a matter of fact.
My granddad had a big radio, big clunky radio that he used to sit in a rocking chair. That is a super big one.
That's a console, and that's why when TVs first came out, they thought they had to be in these consoles like the radios.
Right.
So they put them in these consoles. But
they had to compete.
Yeah, but this is the radio they're listening to, and I just thought that was kind of neat.
And the people in the story, the people who produce the radio show are going to have a live performance. And so you have to have the golden ticket. I believe it's called the golden ticket. Yeah, the case of the golden ticket. So this family, they're the Dingledorfers.
Yes.
They go off in search of that golden ticket so they can appear on the radio show.
Yeah.
And here they are. It turns out the ticket is on the forehead of a giant chicken,
Yeah.
a giant stone chicken or something, and they're all standing on each other's shoulders, trying to reach it.
But the chicken took the ticket. See that?
Yeah, but it's their chicken, so it's okay. He grabbed the ticket and got away while the guy that was standing on the shoulders of the other guy fell in the water. And you see a cop here, Amos.
I like what he says here when he falls in the water. I done a wetter.
Done a wetter.
I done a wetter. Fell in the water.
Amos, no swimming in the fountain.
Yeah.
And there's Amos, he's all sheepishly smiling.
Yeah, I get it. Ticket for that. Yeah.
This is great stuff. I want to get some more stuff from Stephen Hager because this is really a good book.
Yeah.
I've heard of him.
The golden ticket on the front running away.
Yeah. Case of the Golden Ticket. I enjoyed this one a lot. I want to get some more stuff by Stephen Hager, definitely.
Yeah, that's good. Different, very different,
Yep.
than what you usually see. So.
Yep.
Give your mind a little break from the superhero. There's no superhero stuff in there.
No superheroes there, just real people.
Real folks.
Real people.
Folky folks.
Listening to the radio and that sort of thing.
Going to the radio show.
Okay.
All right.
These are books that we got at Space.
Yes.
Next time around, we may probably going to review, or maybe a mixture of stuff that we've received from people in the mail. Plus,
still got a lot of stuff from Space, though. We do.
We still have quite a bit there.
Yeah, but we'll probably have to throw in some of the stuff we've been getting in the mail because it's not fair to keep those folks, waiting. So
yeah,
be a little mixture maybe next time. But anyway, we're still going here. We got these to do. What do you got? Which one you doing next?
This one's from Brian Canini.
That's the one I had in my hand.
Glimpses of Life.
And that's exactly what this is, because this is like every day he drew his diary. And, it's just what's going on at that particular day, and he records it, draws the comics, and records it.
Looks like this one's signed. You went over. Did you get this from him?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he signed it. He signed 2 copies.
Mine is signed on the back too. Yeah. So he signed both of those.
Yeah. I know that he had a panel. He was conducting a panel.
On how to do. I think it was basically how to do a comic every day kind of thing. I think that we didn't get to go to the panels because we were so busy at our table we couldn't move. I sold one book, so we
didn't go anywhere, but we had a great time. We didn't make a lot of money, but that wasn't what it was all about. I didn't go there expecting to make money. I mean, like I'm going to get reimbursed for the airplane ticket and the hotel and all that. Not a chance.
Not hardly.
We had fun at Space because Space is all about us and the people we respect and the people we love and respect, the great talents out there. That's where we went, was to connect with people that we've known for years but maybe never met in person. I met some new people. But anyway, this is a slice of life story.
Different things now. His son got interested in manga, so he's kind of drawn in that manga style. There on that particular
page, I see that.
Yeah. So anyway, it's whatever happening in his life.
It starts.
This was
it starts
2021.
Starts on New Year's Day, 2021. with him sitting at his drawing board, and he says, "I'm feeling cautiously optimistic about the year to come."
Mm-hmm.
So he's optimistic.
Yep.
And it's just slice of life. He tells the story. Oh, I thought this was great too, because he's on the next page, and his young daughter comes up to him, and she says, "What you drawing, Daddy?" He's at his drawing board. He says, "I'm drawing a comic." And she says, "Is that you?" And she says, "Can I draw you?" And he says, "Sure." So she does, and he put it in the comic. There she is.
There's
she drew him.
There's her artwork right there.
Yeah.
You can see.
Yeah, that's so cute.
It kind of look, we met Brian. It kind of looks like him.
Yeah, it looks a lot like him.
Yeah.
Especially the black hair at the top.
The black hair is good. Yeah. But that's what he looks like.
No.
If you were wondering.
Yeah, it looks like that. And but that's wonderful. He had his daughter involved, and this whole thing. He talks about his wife is pregnant.
That's
so
right
much
there.
Nice stuff. It's poignant and beautiful stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like she asks him, "Give me your hand," so he can feel the baby moving, in her belly there. And she says, "How does it feel? What does it feel like for you?" And he says, "It's kind of like getting a high five through a pillow." So she's pregnant, and the story goes along. It details his relationship with his parents, and there's some family.
Yeah, they have a little family
feud, a little bit
kind of thing. Yeah, a little tension.
And
he puts it in the book.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't go into detail, but he tells you what's going on.
He doesn't go into detail, but he doesn't pull any punches. He tells it like it is.
He tells it, yeah.
And the artwork is just gorgeous. I mean, it's simple, but it really gets the point across.
I wasn't quite sure. This must be some kind of this is what he sees on the way to his daughter's preschool.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this sign in the woods here that says, "Miss Nee makes them pay."
I saw that too. And
it's political, I think. Is there a governor by that name? Or
I have no idea. It must be something in the area where they live.
Yeah, it is. That's for sure. Because he sees it on the way to his daughter's preschool.
Yeah.
But
and there's a little bit of a. Can you hear that? We got a storm going on here.
Storm. Yeah.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can hear it really loud.
There are people in high places that don't want us to talk about your comics, but it's not going to stop us. If lightning strikes, the place starts to burn down. What happened?
Wait.
Larned has a wife, folks. Her name is Kathy.
We gotta give her the car keys here.
Yeah.
There you go. Needed the car keys.
Tell her to be careful about the thunder when you go out.
Yeah. So. Of course, the thunder's in Florida, and I'm in St. Louis, so I think we'll be all right.
Okay, that's good. I hope so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But this is a typical, it's summertime Florida thunderstorm. These storms pop. It gets so hot, and all of a sudden it'll pour down raining for like 30 minutes. And then it won't rain anymore, and lightning, thunder, the whole thing. The roof about to blow off the house, but then it subsides. and we're used to this. It doesn't really happen during one of my shows, our shows, but
it's okay.
That's cool. This
they
is
know
real life.
Thunder.
That just shows you this is real life, people.
Mm-hmm.
We're real people here talking about your real comics.
Yes.
So
what's the next real comic we're talking about? What do we got?
I'm just finishing up here. I'm still looking at this because I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed with Brian Canini's artwork, and there's his wife going to have the baby, and I thought it would end with her having the baby, but it actually doesn't end. They kind of leave that to your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I regret that I didn't talk to him or meet him at the convention, but you did. And that's a good thing.
I met him also years ago when he was very young at the convention.
Uh-huh.
And I think him and I rode to the Laughing Ogre comic shop together,
Oh,
if I
yeah?
remember right. I don't know if he remembered that, but I remembered it.
Yeah. Yeah. So next time I definitely want to walk up to him, shake his hand, and say, "Hey, I appreciate.
He was very
love
busy.
what you're doing."
You know what he was doing was promoting the Columbus Scribbler, which is a newspaper that all the cartoonists in Columbus, Ohio, contribute to. We have copies of that. We'll get that on here and show you what it looks like, but not in this episode, but we will. But that's what he was doing, because that was kind of his thing, the Columbus Scribbler. He was very influential in getting that going, and it's very cool looking. So, all right, let's go on to what do we got next.
Okay, I got Dream Diary here from Larry Johnson.
All righty, Larry.
One of our
Larry. Yep.
favorites. This is a comic. This is the second issue. Nice back cover there. But he details cool. What happens in his dreams.
Yeah.
Kind of fascinating. What he does, and this just takes real discipline. Years ago, I read about H.P. Lovecraft, the great writer, supernatural writer H.P. Lovecraft, used to write down his dreams. But what happens? You wake up and you forget your dreams very quickly. You might remember them for a second, but if you don't stick with it, you're going to forget them. H.P. Lovecraft had a discipline where he would get up, as soon as he got up, straight to the pen and ink and write the dreams down. And then he would use those as the basis of some of his stories. But that's a real discipline, and Larry Johnson has also managed this discipline. He says he's been doing it for like 30 years. Writing down his dreams, as strange as they might be.
Yeah, it's full color throughout.
Yeah,
full color. There's some comments from people about it. There's all kinds of these strange dreams that he illustrates.
I got a kick out of this one. He dreams that he sees these chickens, and they're all armed. They're shooting
armed chickens. Yes.
Yeah, armed chickens shooting like BBs at people. Shooting.
Yeah.
And one of them wanders off and comes back pulling an atomic bomb. So Larry hides behind a stone wall, like, that's going to protect him for sure from that atomic bomb, right?
Yeah. So you can do what you want with your dreams. You can, there you go.
Well,
it
Larry
goes from armed chickens to atomic bombs.
Yeah.
All in the same dream.
And then a dragon pops up.
Yeah.
And there's a group of like high school girls all sitting there, oblivious to the dragon that's hovering over them, but they're just they're doing whatever they're doing, working on a project or whatever. They're just relaxing, and you see Larry himself will pop up occasionally, just like you see his face. He's like, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah.
So
the dragon, the girls do get alerted to the dragon right there. You can see that.
Yeah. Yeah. And he flaps his wings in a furious pace. Eventually, the girls, they do. They kind of, because he's flapping his wings so hard, they all just get catapulted off from the wind.
Yeah.
This one was kind of funny. Some of them were, there's interesting stuff. I like this one. Story in here, Dream Diary. Now, you know that Larry does Madame Bougala, and he's kind of inspired by the whole gypsy way of life. And this one he did actually in 1995. I don't know if it's the original art or if he redid it, but I mean the first panel. This isn't like a humorous zine. It's just whatever happens. But I thought this was kind of funny. He's dreaming. A fat old gypsy man was living in my friend's refrigerator.
Yeah.
I kind of laugh out of that.
I don't know what he is drinking before he goes to bed, but it's apparently quite potent.
I think it's pure imagination, because Larry has an incredible imagination. The stories that he writes are so funny. Oh, they're not funny necessarily. They're adventures, they're supernatural, they're all kinds of stuff. But Larry has one amazing imagination. He even sees himself. The first story in it is called Dead Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dead Larry. Larry's at home and he sees himself, no clothes on, but he sees himself, and apparently it's either him or a clone, but he's dead.
Yeah.
So Larry sees him, but then at the end, the guy, the clone guy, opens his eyes and he's staring at him.
That's how it is. That's the way dreams end, like that.
So that's weird.
You wake up.
He talks about lucid dreams. There are dreams, and Larry mentions lucid dreams. These are the ones where you're just about to wake up, but you're not quite awake, and you realize you're dreaming. And then you have control over your dream, so you can control it for a little bit. And that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you've had that happen, right, where you realize you're dreaming and you take control?
I don't know if I take control, but I realize, holy cow, that was a dream. That's not real.
Yeah.
I've had that happen many times.
Yeah. Oh, you dream that you woke up, you're awake, and then you, but you're not. But you think you're awake.
Really
you're dreaming that you woke up from your dreams, but then incredible things start to happen, and you realize, okay, I'm not really awake. Dreams are amazing, and it's our imaginations in full force. He dreams he's at a movie theater, and he's there to watch the movie, but somebody hands him an old 8mm movie projector and says that he has to show the movie, which is Betty Boop.
Betty Boop.
But there's a guy next to him. Who's shaking his shoulders, and people are all mad at him. They're looking back at him. They're angry because the movie is shaky, but it's not his fault.
Oh boy! Wow! Wowie wowie. Anyway, if you want to find out what Larry's dreaming about, I'll have all his contact information below. And I think this is $7.50, Larry told me.
It's so beautifully illustrated.
And it's, actually, this is number 2, so he did another one.
Yeah.
And the page count on here, don't remember.
Oh, he finds himself in the Army, in boot camp. But he's 60 years old. And the drill sergeant is fussing at him. He can't climb the rope climbing, but he can't do it because he's 60 years old. And so the drill sergeant keeps fussing at him, and he says, "Well, what does he say? Well, at some point he tells him, I should have done it. It should have been 40 years ago. I'm too old for this." But that was his dream.
Yeah. So there you go, Larry's dreams.
Yeah. He also mentions meeting Barbara Streisand, Judy Garland, Frank Sinatra, Lou Costello, Eddie Van Halen, and other people in his dreams. So there you go. That's Larry Johnson. We love his work. Horseman is an absolute masterpiece, and this is wonderful as well. So
yeah.
Dream Diary.
Find out what he's dreaming about.
Time for some water.
Oh, water. There's plenty of water outside at your place, it sounds like.
Yeah, it sounds that way. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's dig into Bill Widener's books.
Oh, yeah. Okay, these are minis. Okay, and we have 6 of them.
I got 5. You got 5 or 6?
5 of them. I'm sorry. I meant
5.
to say
That's
5.
okay.
And but he must have had 30 more different ones on his rack and his thing.
Well,
but
Bill,
they're public domain. A lot of it is public domain things that he has clipped out and put in the book, and then I think he adds the word balloons and things like that to them.
Yeah. Most of the time the artists are credited. Sometimes they're not.
Yeah. But like this crime, that may have been a cover of a crime magazine, you know.
You look at the crime issue. That was
this is the crime issue.
Issue number 25,
mm-hmm.
where he delves into the crime comics of like the late 40s and the 1950s.
Yeah, that's what he's showing you here. And
some of which had really, really cool covers.
Mm-hmm. And some of it he draws himself. There's all kinds of, stuff, things like that.
A lot of interesting stuff.
Gun Mall, yeah.
Gun Mall. He's even got a picture by Norman Rockwell here.
Yeah.
Norman Rockwell.
All kinds of stuff. And
so what was it about the Norman Rockwell? Norman Rockwell, Shuffleton's Barbershop from 1950.
Here's another crime magazine cover that he writes about.
Crime Does Not Pay. I remember this.
Yeah.
One of the popular crime magazines. When the Comics Code came along, a lot of the crime comics just disappeared.
Yeah.
They didn't want to emphasize crime. But that's interesting too. If you go back, now this is this issue, but I just want to mention, if you go back to that first one I was showing you, which was issue number 9. He has right at the front, he reprints an article by Charles F. Murphy, and the type is very tight, but this is very tiny. But this was he was the head of the Comics Code Authority when when they started censoring comic books because of protests, and Dr. Andrew Wortham, who was leading a crusade against comics. They established the Comics Code. The comics that were published at that time, and there was over 300 titles published every month. There were really a lot of comics coming out in those days, and they sold magnificently. They sold millions and millions, way more than they do now. People go to the movies and stuff, but they don't buy the comics as much anymore, which I don't really blame them for, because I've seen some of the recent comics and they're just not as cool. But but there's an article with this. This is
which book is that you're looking at?
That's this one.
Oh, funny. So okay, yeah, I have that.
It came out in 2015. It's got the front cover is Two-Face from Batman.
Yeah.
Two-Face. It's a wraparound cover, but it's got this article in the front, and this guy Charles Murphy was the head of the Comics Code Authority. And I was reading the article, and the comic book publishers submitted the artwork to him before it was colored. They submitted the large size tabloid size before it was reduced, the original artwork to the Comics Code Authority, and this guy and his team had to look over. They looked over all of they read the entire comics before they were published, and they either stamped them with the Comics Code, or they rejected them, or either sometimes they would send them back and say, okay, you need to fix this. But that's the kind of power they had.
Yeah.
So that was the Comics Code. There's a picture in here. It looks like Steve Willis.
It does, but I don't think it is. But it does look like some of Steve Willis's work.
Yeah, it looks like his style. That's interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't say who that is, but it looks like Steve.
One of my favorite of all the ones he sent is the Monster issue.
Yeah, the Monster issue is pretty cool. Yeah.
Number 23.
Yeah.
It's got his own artwork, and he also
and he's got a lot of this kind of stuff in there too.
Cover reproductions of Marvel comics. This is one that reprinted the monster comics of the 1950s, because before the Fantastic Four, Marvel Comics was doing monster comics. Like all of their titles, except for they had some love titles, was monster. Oh, that's a cool one.
This is Bill's story.
Yeah.
So he drew this and wrote it and all that.
Okay.
So his story is right there, and it's a couple pages long, you know.
He swears it's a true story.
Yeah. But he's
about
kind of tongue-in-cheek, I think, maybe.
Maybe it says he was visiting some friends on a farm.
Yeah, he was
some
a little
relatives.
kid. Mm-hmm.
Right, and he looked out the window and he saw exactly what you're showing, a monster.
Yeah, a monster out there.
A monster with glowing eyes.
Yeah. So, we don't know.
And, and he got under the covers.
Mm-hmm. That's where you go, you know.
Here.
That's how you get away from the monsters. You always go under the covers.
He went under the covers and the monster went away. If I can get this straight here. And at the end, it's the next morning. He says he never told anybody about this. But you can see the big wide eyes. I guess he didn't sleep well that night.
Not too good.
Yeah. But he swears this is story. This is true. He looked out the window and he saw this beast.
Some other stuff that's in here. Cellar Dweller. I believe that is from, it says 1970s Marvel.
Yeah.
And Behind My Door Waits Medusa.
Has to be Medusa. It looks like part of it was torn off, right?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, it is torn off because Medusa doesn't make anything.
Yeah.
But it's so old that part of the cover got torn off when he reproduced it.
Look at this one. You know about the Guardians of the Galaxy and Groot?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was originally an evil version of Groot in the old Marvel Monster comics.
Yeah.
But I guess there was. There he is right there. You can't mistake that.
Yeah.
That's Groot. I am Groot. But this is in something called Monsters, a reprint title of Marvel, reprinted a lot of their early stuff. And Bill was a big fan, so apparently he collected a lot of this stuff. Really cool.
Some of this is so small, it's hard to read, but I wanted to look at this.
And it looks like
this kind of thing. Look at this. And look at the
White Zombie.
Yeah.
Is that Bill Widener's artwork?
That's what I'm trying to find out. This guy is reviewed by Bill, but I don't think he drew this one.
Yeah.
Some of the print is very small.
Well, I mean, that's supposed to be him in the first...
Ed Roth type hot rod drawing right there in the bottom. If you know who Ed Roth was.
Yep. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a really cool story. It's absolutely it's insane. It's extreme, and it's all about White Zombie, the band.
And they got things like this in there. So he just puts all kinds of stuff in there.
Yeah.
This one has a complete. I can't really do it, but it will fold out. It's somehow. Oh, it's attached at the bottom. We noticed a couple of his comics aren't trimmed at the bottom very well.
Yeah, I encountered that.
I'm going to see if I can open this one. I wanted to show it without.
When I have this. I have my box cutter that I use at work to open packages. So I just slit the bottom of the pages and I open those rascals up.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's what it looks like when you open it up.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So there's just all kinds of stuff like that in these. Yeah. And these run about, well, the monster one's a little bigger. That's $3.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of the other ones are $2, basically. So, you know, basic. And this one a little bit smaller. That's $1. So, and let's see. The crime one, which has a lot in it, is only $2. That one's $2.
Here's a drawing by Bill Widener, and I think the most recent issue. Sexy lady with a giant eel wrapped around her.
Is that in Suave?
Yeah, that's in the Suave issue.
Yeah.
And this one's interesting. This one has to do a lot with the sexy titles, the sexual innuendo titles, you know, that were published years and years ago. I thought there was something called Sex to Sexty that I used to see on the stands. I'd go and I would see that, and it's all these sexy comics. They didn't go too far. They didn't have absolute nudity and none of that stuff, but they just had a lot of suggestive stuff in it. So he's, yeah, I mean, you know, like here on the contents page, that's an old illo by somebody.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, it's a little unusual because some of the stuff I don't know what it has to do with the theme, but, you know. Because those guys aren't what I would call sexy. Unless,
No.
No.
This is the back cover from something called Cartoon Comedy Parade.
Yeah.
There's a lady here, she says, "Stop pestering me or I'll call a justice of the peace."
See, he didn't want to get married, but...
Right.
So she's threatening him.
Let's see, and the only other one that we haven't mentioned here is issue number 21.
Yeah, Comics Funnies.
Adventures
Comics
in Arch
Funnies.
City. Yep.
And here's something from somewhere on the back that he found and put on the back.
Yep.
This one's $2.
In color, folks. What do we got here?
Now the first 2 pages are by Bill. That's his artwork, those 2 pages.
And he does this color, it's a very simple little color 4-panel strip where his kitty cat Milo gets in bed with him. And he says, "It's kind of nice." And you have to look hard, but it's purr mixed with z. So they're snoozing together, and they're both happy.
Yeah.
Simple, but it gets across. It gets the point across. Kitty cats can make you happy, people.
So anyway.
So yeah. There's more.
Something by Durf in here. You guys know who Durf is?
I don't know. I heard of him through this title.
Yeah.
Here's one by Bill.
Durf.
Different
Another
people.
Durf drawing.
Durf. Yep.
Yep. He draws very strange people and things. Yeah.
Yep. We got a Devo shirt on there. Who did this? This one is apparently stuff that was inspired by Bill's visit in 2015 to the Cartoon Crossroads Columbus, a 3-day festival devoted to indie comics. Cartoon Crossroads Columbus, which is right there, CXC.
Oops.
So apparently,
1 second, I dropped something. I've got to get it.
So these are comics apparently inspired by that particular exposition and stuff by Bill himself.
I'm back. Can't go very far with the headset on,
I'm here.
So I had to go get that. Okay. So here's a guy that has all kinds of mini comics. I don't think he does any other size except mini comics. So he's got a bunch of them.
Bill, I mean, he came in like a little late on the first day, but he set up all the way up at the front of the convention. So apparently his table was way up there, kind of just down the road from us. But if you were to come in through that door, he would be the first thing you see. He had this all set up, and he's a cool guy. He stopped by the table. Larned wasn't there, and he says, "Are you the Talking Small Press Comics guys?" I says, "Yeah." And he handed us a bunch of zines. He handed me a bunch of comics. Thank you. I appreciate it, Bill. And we enjoyed reading these. This was a lot of fun. Hope to see more from you. So yeah.
I think we got one more. One more called The Electric Team #9.
Yes, indeed. The Electric Team #9.
Electric Team #9.
From Leighton Connor.
Leighton Connor and Abigail Connor. Story is by Abigail Connor and Leighton and
art.
Samantha Albert.
And
the art is by Samantha Albert.
yeah, and you know what? I sent him a message about this because I wanted to know who Abigail Connor was. And I received this message back. He says, thanks. The artist, what do we say the artist was? Samantha
the
Albert?
artist is Samantha Albert.
He says the artist is Sam Albert.
Mm-hmm.
The co-writer, Abigail Connor, is his daughter. That is Leighton's daughter.
Leighton's daughter? Okay.
Mm-hmm. And she calls herself Blue, B-L-U now, so she would be Blue Connor.
Mm-hmm.
That's
now,
it.
I don't know why he's thanking. He has a group of people on the first page that he's thanking. Huge group. But he doesn't. I don't know why he's thanking them. I don't know what they did. They might have helped with something. But if you look on the page, there's a whole list of people he's thanking there.
Yeah,
that
shout
did
outs.
something, you know, I don't know what,
but this is one incredible comic. I mean,
this is quite a story.
Really great.
Mm-hmm.
This is just the first page. You got three characters here, three heroes in this story who are part of a team.
Yeah.
And
this is a strange land. And I think it's after the apocalypse, if I understood it right.
Oh, it says civilization has been shattered. In a world of magic, monsters, and tyrants, 6 heroes have banded together to form the Electric Team. And they're out to defeat 1,000 villains who are standing in the way of civilization's return. The 3 that are featured in here, 3 of the members are off somewhere else, but here we have Brianna, Plant Man, and Verka.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a Verka. It's an intelligent squirrel. And this is Brianna over here. And the other guy, there he is, that's Plant Man.
Plant Man, yeah.
So these heroes are talking, and they get into talking about Brianna's past, and she reveals a magnificent story. This took a ton of imagination from about where she came from and how she ended up in the team.
Yeah.
With gorgeous artwork, just beautiful artwork.
I was kind of looking for something here. I can't seem to find it. That's why I'm preoccupied. I wanted to show you something in here. Now I can't find it. Naturally, I should have marked it.
His parents were kind of strong-armed. His parents were like farmers, and since they didn't produce enough to make the government happy, they demanded. The government demanded that they turn over their daughter.
Yeah.
Which they did. She ends up in this beautiful place, and she is a servant.
Yeah, she's a servant.
Lady Rigora, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Rigora, who raises her the rest of the way. But somewhere in the beginning, she finds out that, apparently there are superpowers in her family tree. They skip a generation, so her grandmother had these powers, and her grandmother told her when she was 8, "You're going to have the power. It skips generations, but I can feel it. You'll be hurling fire from your hands." So she becomes a servant in the caps, and everything's going okay, but she's a servant. She has to work hard, clean the toilets, and mop the floors, and all that stuff.
That was what I was looking for, because and I can't find it, but I know they said she had to clean the toilet, and there was a picture of the toilet, and it made me think, did this place have plumbers? This looks very primitive. Where is that? I can't find it.
Right there. It's on like the page 5.
Oh, okay. No wonder I couldn't find it.
Yeah, she had her hands full there cleaning the toilet.
There it is. Yes.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think that these folks, being plants and all that, would have a flush toilet, but they do.
Mm-hmm.
So they must have plumbers. If you have a flush toilet, you've got to have plumbers. This is the only reference I found to that, but
And there was other servants, but they wouldn't help her. She did make a friend with someone named Shelley. She and Shelley became best friends. This figures later into the story. There they are. Shelley's on top of Brianna's shoulders there.
This has some really neat artwork. I'm not sure how this was done. I think, colored on a computer, maybe. I don't know. I can't do that kind of stuff, so I don't know.
I would suspect.
But it's
colors, art, layouts. Sam Albert apparently did this beautiful.
Samantha Albert, yeah. But she does some nice work. I'll tell you that.
At one point, her powers do manifest themselves. At that point, she breaks away from Lady Rigora. Excuse me, I'm sorry. It's that Orlando water.
Oh, this is $5. Pretty good price for something like this. This is $5. Yeah. There it is. Well,
I'd like to get into it, but I need to skip over some stuff because this could go on. She makes friends with a guy. He's a magician guy that she meets in town. His name is Jason. They get along really good.
His name is Jason Occult, which is interesting.
Occult.
Yeah.
Jason Occult. So they become great friends, and things are going okay. At some point, Jason begins to acquire even more powers. He achieves a cloak that makes him like a supreme wizard. He's more and more powerful. The more powerful he gets, the more he is obsessed with these powers, until the point where he and they travel through dimensions and stuff too. I'll get to that in a second. He becomes the Ultimage, like the ultimate magician.
Yeah.
And he takes over this castle, and there's something in here that I thought was really interesting. Oh,
I'll just show you this real quick. That's Joseph Morris, our friend Joseph Morris. He did a pin-up for this in the back. Pretty cool. Yeah.
And that's Ultimage versus Octopus Jones. Now, you remember Octopus Jones? Octopus Jones was in Small Press Party.
Yes. Yeah, that's one of Joseph Morris' characters.
Yeah.
Octopus Jones.
That's what I wanted to mention. There comes a point where Jason has become so powerful that there's a company called Edict, E.D.I.C.T., E-D-I-C-T, who are, in fact, I saved the link here, because Edict appears in Small Press Comics Party from Joseph Morris. It stands for the Extra Dimensional Invasion Control Team. And here they are.
In Joe's comic.
In Joe's comic.
Yeah.
And there's a link. I mean, it's like these guys have combined their. They have a mythos that they've created. Joseph Morris and Leighton Connor. And
we saw Leighton spend a lot of time at Joseph's table.
Right.
He was there for a long time.
Yeah. So there's Edict right there, trying to interfere, trying to do something about Jason Occult, because his powers are getting way out of control, and it's affecting other dimensions. So as soon as I saw that Edict, I recognized that.
Yeah.
So I sent a message to Leighton asking him.
Lost in comics with other dimensions, but that's just me.
Yeah, there's a little multiverse thing going on here.
I get a little lost with that, but that's okay. Here's a...
let me see here. A bunch of superheroes combine forces eventually. But Octopus Jones appears in this comic too. He appears in here somewhere. And we
I know.
2 weeks ago.
I can't find him right this second, but he is in there. He looks different in this, but he's in there.
That's a different art style, But he's in there.
Electric Team.
Okay, this is Octopus Jones right here.
Oh, you find him? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right there. Whoops, like that. This guy.
Yeah.
Looks a little different.
A little different.
That's a difference in art styles.
Yeah.
But it's cool that these guys, that Joseph and Leighton are combining their their intellect, their great intellect to create such a magnificent universe. It's really cool. Really cool.
Nice. Oh, production values and everything are really, really pro.
Yeah. A lot of great artwork in here.
Yeah.
I kind of want to show the last panel, but if I do, it'll spoil the ending for
probably give it away, but not too much, because you got to really read that and take your time reading it, So, good book.
Should I show it?
Very good.
Should I show that panel?
I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what to do, because you're going to do what you're going to do anyway.
I'm not going to show that panel. But
right.
Just when they think, I'll tell you this much, just when they think that Jason Occult has been demolished, defeated, it's not that easy. I believe his own girlfriend, Brianna, casts him off into some kind of a pit or something. Like when the Emperor in Star Wars got thrown down into the pit. It's kind of like that. But, what if he could crawl out of that? What would happen?
I don't know. We'll find out in the next issue.
You'll have to look at the issue. Here's a really nice back cover.
Yeah. Yep. Great stuff. Great
stuff. So this is wonderful. This is a wonderful comic. I'm not. Yeah, I mean that. I totally mean that, because I was spellbound watching this. And when I saw the relationship between this and Joseph Morris
Joseph Morris, I was surprised when I saw that.
I was like, I want to see more of this.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I think I think we have wrapped it up. That's the last one.
Yep.
For this show. Now we'll got a bunch more.
Soon. Yeah, we will. Soon.
We will, because we got a bunch more to go through. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification so that you know when we got a show coming up. Because they are, we can't have a schedule. We have to go by what comics we have. Although we have enough comics that we bought, we could do something. But Steve is the head of the UFO and has other responsibilities. I have no responsibilities. None. But Steve does. So.
I'm working on the new issue of Tetragrammaton Fragments, the UFO newsletter, right now. But I think I have all the materials I need now. So by this weekend, this should be completely ready to go to print. I might go to print Saturday, or I might go Monday. Kinko's is open on Sundays, I think, but it's only open for like 4 hours, so we'll see what happens. We're going to get that out early next week, too.
Okay, so we'll be back as soon as he can get free. We'll do another show, so
probably about a week.
Stay tuned.
If we can do at least one a week, I think.
Yeah, we're trying to do one a week, and it's hard, but for me, I can do one every day. But Steve, he's
I'm a busy
guy.
Man.
Yeah, busy.
A retired guy. A retired guy. I'm darn busy with all this comic stuff. Folks, check out our Patreon page if you would.
Yes, do that too. Yeah,
we'd appreciate it.
We're trying to get more material on there, and if you have anything you could suggest that you'd like to see, let us know.
Right, you'll see a lot of stuff that we're not posting. Yeah, we do a lot of videos and stuff for Patreon that you're not going to see here. You're not going to see on YouTube. I mean, it's strictly for Patreon. We just have a handful of patrons at this point, but it's only like $3 a month, and you get all this extra stuff. So if you check it out, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, the other thing now, I mentioned in the last video that we have a little store right near me, which is Red Brick Comics, collectible comics and toys, have graciously put in a rack of small press comics. So I'm putting your comics in there, and if they sell, you get half the cover price. The owner gets half the cover price, and you get half the cover price. I was just in there today, and nothing has sold yet. But we're hopeful, and he's still very enthusiastic about it. In fact, he may be doing a toy show that his store sponsors, and he wants to have the small press comics in that show. Now that wouldn't be until much later in the year, but he told me he would like those comics in the show. So,
yeah, so if
anyway,
you walk in
those
the front store,
are coming up.
If you walk in the store and you see that rack in the front, just say, "Wow, what a rack!"
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Hope his wife isn't standing nearby.
Yeah, right. Be careful when you say that. But it is right in the front, and you can. It's right by the cash register.
It
so
looks
if you're
good from
out, you can see it. And he talks it up. He's great. He likes what we're doing. So anyway, that's the story, and I think we're gonna close things down. So we will see you next time.
Adios.
To another episode of Talking Small Press Comics. This is episode 48. And look at Steve's mustache. It looks a lot better today. Let me click this. Boom. Now look at that mustache. Oh, he can even work on his forehead.
Nice eyebrows, huh?
Yeah. That's excellent.
Yeah, nice. I look good, man.
Yeah.
Just happen to have this here.
Yeah.
If you got anything you got in front of you can be a prop. Anything.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
So this is the prop for today.
Yeah.
End of lesson, folks.
Okay.
Beginning of show.
Before we start, I do want to mention we've gotten a number of comics recently, and I want to show what we've got. These are going to be in our next show, so I just wanted to let the creators know we got these comics, they're safe, and we are going to do a show with them. We've got The Matrix.
Yeah.
We've got...
This is different from Tom Felt. Tom Felrath has Matrix too, doesn't he?
Not that I know of.
Somebody else has Matrix. Well, anyway, more than one person has used that as a concept. Never mind, forget me. I'm just... Let Larned...
Presents. We have Reed Presents. We'll be doing that. Action Theater, we're looking forward to doing that one. We'll be in the next show.
Yeah, look at that cover, yeah.
Uncanny Action.
John Muller.
Yeah, by John Muller. And Uncanny Action #5 by John Muller.
Great artist.
And a mini Scarab by Guy Sparkman.
Guy Sparkman.
And Action Hero Adventures will be in the next show from Guy Sparkman. Also,
Pearl Hope Bond cover there, not bad.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Hologram. This is a collected version of the Hologram comics, Counting the Days. So that will be in the next show, and also Tom Felrath's Strange Times.
Yeah, I might have gotten Matrix mixed up with Hologram.
Well, maybe you did.
So,
I don't know. But anyway, these are the comics that will be in the next show. So I just wanted to show those, let the creators know that we have them. They're in good shape. They're in good hands.
And we have more than that.
Next show.
Now we have other stuff. There's a book by Ian Shires. You have that Ian Shires mini comic?
Yes, I do. This we picked up at Space, but yeah, this is from Ian Shires.
He was in the table next to us, just instigating all kinds of craziness, and and it's the first thing he's published in a couple of years. So
tells you the story of Ian. That's what this is not a comic book, but this is Ian's story.
And he's had
there's
quite
a number
story.
of different things in here.
Yeah.
They dropped it on the floor.
If you know anything about Ian Shires, and I've known him for a long, long time. He was a former chairman of the UFO. He's been doing mini comics for decades, and they say there's
different health problems and things through the years, and he kind of tells you all about it. And
but he's coming back now.
He's done, and he's coming back to small press after being away for a little while.
And I will mention this very quickly because there was a myth, a rumor that was spread about Ian that he was at the Chicago Comics Convention many years ago, maybe around, when did I go? 80, so maybe around 1990, and that Ian was on the elevator with Stan Lee, and he told Stan Lee to F off. So I directly, I've been hearing this, it's like a legendary story, I've been hearing this for years. I asked Ian about it, he said it's not true.
Not true. Right.
He was on the elevator with Stan, and he just happened to get off, and a lot of people noticed that he was on the elevator with Stan Lee, and then stories came out of that. So, but apparently it was okay.
All right, so let's get going with what we've got today. More comics from space.
Yep.
And you can start with whichever one you want. I've got them all right here within my reach.
Well, one person that we encountered, then I've been waiting 50 years to meet my old friend Kurt Erichsen.
Yes, sir.
He was a chairman of the UFO after me. He took over after me. I took over from Carl Gafford. Kurt took over from me, and he was chairman of the UFO for 3 or 4 years back in the 1970s. He even uses the old UFO symbol, the original UFO symbol on his front cover for Endeavor. This is Endeavor number 16 and a half. There's Endeavor number 16 and number 16 and a half.
This one on the cover says 16.
You got 16. Okay, that's cool. This is 16 and a half. I got 16 and a half. There's a slight difference.
There is?
Yep, there's a slight difference. They're both great, and they're both quality. Yeah, well, I mean, I discussed it with Kurt, but he told me about it. 16 and a half has a little bit better. The paper that was used have glossy stock covers, and it costs a little more. It's just a slightly higher quality. 16 is quality. This one's a little bit even higher.
It has the same stuff in it, right?
Exactly the same book.
Okay.
This one has glossy covers, and I guess the inside paper is a little better too.
Glossy covers also.
And the difference is like number 16, I believe, is like $10, but 16 and a half is $20.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, and mostly he just sends that out to special friends. Like I say, I've known him for 50 years. 50 years.
People. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Larned, but after 50 years.
The first story, I really, really like the artwork in this first story. I was just trying to show it. I'm going to show it again. I've lost it.
Plague
Look
net.
at the artwork in this story. I mean, that is something.
Quarantine.
Quarantine is the name of the story, and the artist is Real.
He has a first name. It's I have to look it up. I keep forgetting it. Neil Rael. Neil Rael.
Rael, is that how you say it? I don't know how you say it, but he
Neil
is
Rael.
one heck of an artist. I will say that. Wow. That is some good stuff.
And it's about, there's a contagion, there's something going through, it's like COVID, like COVID-19, there's another disease.
Yeah, they're fighting a disease in this.
Yeah. And people are hiding in their homes, or they're wearing masks.
Yeah, they're wearing masks and everything, which I think is familiar to everybody.
Yeah, we know something about that. We sort of been through that. And this guy chooses not to go out in public. He doesn't want to wear a mask. He stays inside his house.
And look how he answers the door. In this on the bottom here, he answers the door. That's how he's dressed.
Yeah, he's got like a diver's suit or something, or a protective radiation suit.
Yeah, so that's how he's not going to catch nothing.
But something weird starts to happen. He's inside, he's all alone, and he starts to notice little things. Like he's hearing, let me see where we are. He's hearing music. He's hearing music from somewhere, but he didn't start any music. And he goes to like one room, and the paintings in the room are, they're all off kilter here. They're side.
Somebody has moved all the paintings, and he's going, what?
And he suspects someone else is in the house.
Yeah.
He even finds a handprint on the wall in one room.
Right there,
Yeah. So he begins to be obsessed with the idea that someone else is in the house.
In there.
And at one point, he sees someone at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
Look at his artwork. It's so good.
Oh, I mean, it's just excellent artwork.
Yeah. And he goes running outside, and he's screaming, there's someone in the house, someone in the house. All the neighbors come
and
running.
neighbors are going, there's nobody in the house.
And
There's nobody in your house.
They're still wearing their masks. They go running in the house, but they can't find anyone. Now, at the end of the story, there is an explanation after our hero here, our protagonist. Where is he? He gets taken away. There he goes. He gets taken away. I'm not crazy. I know what I saw. It's my house, not his. He saw someone. Nobody else could find any evidence. And at the end of the story, guess what you see here? You know who this is?
You know who that is right there?
Right there. That's Kurt Erichsen.
That is Kurt Erichsen, the publisher of this.
Yep. He even has a little, if you look really good, he has a little UFO symbol button on his lapel.
So this we met him at Space and talked to him for a long time, and this artist has captured him. I knew right away that was Kurt.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that, that is cool.
That's him. And Kurt has a couple of strips in here. And there's some really cool stuff. There's some older stuff that he's had for a while. There's one called, speaking of Contagions, he has one, there's a story here by Brad Foster, the great artist Brad Foster. If you've ever seen his work, you know that he's superb. Contagious. And just people. A few people lined up. They're kind of strange-looking people. I need to adjust this light a little better, get a little more light on here. But anyway.
Well,
somebody yawns.
I don't want to go down all the way to the bottom because it is a good gag. So you know.
Well, everybody starts yawning. One person starts yawning, and it's contagious. Everybody starts yawning. So we're not going to the bottom, but there are some contagions that are rather benign. I guess yawning is one of them, and it's true. One person yawns, everybody starts yawning.
If you see somebody yawning, you will be affected by it.
Yep.
So, you know, this is very. Let me look at how many pages this is. 77 pages. 77 pages. So you got a lot of artwork in here.
An absolute quality artwork.
Dragons that he does.
Yeah, Sis and Sass, the two dragons.
Yeah, he does stories about dragons.
Do dragons sneeze? It turns out that dragons do sneeze. But it's not a really you know, you don't want to be standing in front of a dragon when they sneeze.
No, because it's very dangerous.
Yeah, because like right here, achoo! You know, there's fire and brimstone right there. You know, you're in the wrong spot.
Yeah. Well, and then here's an interesting one. You may find this very interesting. This is Ear Fall Off Floyd.
Okay, that's Jay Zilber. Guess what? He's a former chairman of the UFO as well.
Is that right?
That's right. And this story,
quite the story.
With art by Jim McPherson here, awesome. It's colored by.
Well, now I'm holding it up so I can't see. But
okay, scripted by Jay Zilber, art by Jim McPherson, who's one of the greats in comics and small press. Larry Johnson did the coloring, but this is an old story. Earfall Off Floyd was a character that Jay Zilber did back in the 1970s and 1980s.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
And so this is an older strip finally appearing. But he has a peculiar power.
Quite the story. If you can
his
figure
power. His power is that his ears fall off.
Yeah, superhero, and his power is that his ear falls off. But
boink, boink.
As you go through this, it gets wilder and wilder and wilder. Yeah, all right, you gotta see it to believe it, because it gets really crazy, really crazy.
Yeah, it's really totally nutty.
Yeah, it's completely crazy.
What can I tell you? This is a world we never made.
Unexplainable.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's Earful of Floyd.
Earful of Floyd. Our friend Dan Burke has some AI artwork in here, black and white AI.
Hollywood Extra.
But when Dan Burke does it, he adds his own art to the AI because it would never come out this good.
It's interesting because you talk about AI and you can generate artwork with AI, and all you got to do is tell it what you want, and theoretically, if it works out right, it's going to give you exactly what you want. But Dan, it doesn't always give you exactly what you like. Somebody might have 3 ears or 2 noses. So Dan fixes all this. Somehow
you cannot tell that he has done it, but he has. Yeah. Because he has told us this stuff does not come out the way you really want it to.
Yeah, and somehow somehow you can still see Dan Burke in all this.
Oh yeah.
One thing that AI can't imitate is a personality, a person's heart, a person's creative, what it is that makes them their creative uniqueness. It can't do that. And I mean, because right here, I mean, look, get ready, close your eyes, kids. But this is Dan Burke. This one is not AI. Dan Burke drew that, and I know that because I've seen him draw a lot of this kind of kinky stuff before. Dan, you're darn kinky, man. We love you, though, man. And
color AI by Dan Burke.
Yeah, now that one.
Dan Burke.
That one looks more.
Wait a minute, it's by.
It's Dan Burke.
Oh.
It felt like murder.
By Carl Feltchuk, so I guess he wrote it, but Dan Burke did the art.
This is Dan going totally AI.
Yeah.
So you don't see much of Dan himself. His personality's in there, but you don't see much of him. His own style. You do see Will Smith in one panel.
There's Will Smith right there.
Yeah, that's worth it, just so you can see that. And Dan Burke had a lot to do with this issue. If you go back to the very beginning, the inside front cover. This is Dan. This is his AI artwork. And look at that. That's really nice. What are these comics down there? I need to look at these comics. What's he got down here? Nothing I'm familiar with.
Rockwell painting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a Norman Rockwell painting, I believe.
Oh, yeah?
And he did the comic books to it.
Oh, is that what's going on there?
Yeah.
And Dan also does other stuff in the front. The contents page and everything is totally Dan.
Here's a single page piece of artwork that's featured in the book, and that is by Winston Jackson.
Oh, that would be Lee Jackson, Winston Lee Jackson. Mm-hmm. Now, Lee is an old, I used to call him Lee, everybody calls him Winston now, but I knew him way back in the early 1970s. In fact, he contributed to my very first fanzine, my very first comics. He used to draw my character, the Raven. In fact, he wrote and himself wrote and drew some of those characters, some of the Raven strips, the early Raven strips. So he's been around for a long time, and he's a great friend. I don't hear from him as much as I used to, but we were very close back in the 70s. So yeah, that's Dan.
So in Endeavor, there's written stories also.
In this issue?
Yes, in the back. Toward the back, there's written stories.
Let's be way back there. This is unusual because in the past, Endeavor has been an all-text fiction zine.
Yeah, well, this is quite a bit of text back here.
But with this issue, Kurt goes mostly comics, and they're great comics.
There are those stories in the back. There's our friend Larry Johnson, has a page here.
Yeah, that's him. That looks like some of the dream stuff that he.
And then Meet the Artists. I like this. You can a little paragraph about each one of the artists here.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
And Michael Kucharski does this amazing back cover.
Oh yeah! Wow! Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, it's 1940s-ish in a way, and it's also modern in a way. It's
Isn't that
really
cool?
beautiful.
Beautiful
Absolutely
cover.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can order this for... Go ahead.
I don't know. I was going to ask you, what is the price on this?
I believe it's $10 for issue number 16. If you want to get 16 and a half, it's $20. In fact, I should know because this is a UFO zine, and I just did the UFO checklist. Where am I at? Okay, the new UFO. By the way, the new issue of Tetragrammaton Fragments, the UFO newsletter, is out now with a cover by John Muller. That's the front cover.
Look at that cover.
There you go. You see the big beastie, and they're reading comics. They're actually reading real small press comics. Stuff from Jim Maine and Burl Bond and all of us, and in fact Endeavor's in there. And if you go to the back cover is the same scene, except it's seen from the back.
The other way. Yeah.
And that's John Muller. But I'm not here to hype my own the UFO newsletter. What was the question? Oh, how much is Endeavor number 16? Okay, I've got it on the UFO checklist here. It is $10 postpaid from Kurt Erichsen. Yeah, or you can get 16 and a half with sharper colors and glossy covers for $20. But 16, based on what you've shown me there, 16 looks terrific.
Much difference. Yeah, I don't see. Yeah. So anyway, do whatever you want. You know, collectors may want the more expensive one. You know.
Hey, by the way, people, this issue has a reprint of a strip that I drew of a Beacon story that I wrote in pencil. Larned is like, okay, come on, man. No, but actually, I did write in pencil and.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I did this.
Very cool.
It's the last complete strip that I've drawn. I did it for Jim Maine a couple of years ago for, I believe, Posette, and I decided to reprint that in this issue.
You got to do some more drawing, man. Very good.
I think so.
Very good.
I think I should do some more artwork as well.
I think
you've been inspiring me. Every time I turn around, you show me another strip.
I keep telling them, you know, do some drawing. Do some drawing.
Yeah.
You can draw. Perfect. It's excellent.
Well,
all right.
I should draw. Yeah.
Let's go on to the next one. We got a lot to do here.
Here we have The Unforgotten.
Oh, yeah. This is very interesting because do you know William Messner Loebs? Do you know him?
Yeah,
Steve?
he was an artist for Marvel and DC for many years.
He was? Okay.
And,
I do not know who he is.
Yeah, and
but the premise of this is a kind of a fundraiser for him because he became homeless. Now it doesn't say how that happened. I think it happened very quick, which happens to people sometimes. And this is a comic that the proceeds go to him to help him.
Okay, I was looking it up real quick.
Pardon?
I'm sorry. I checked out Wikipedia real quick, but he did The Flash for DC. Okay. He wrote The Flash, wrote Justice Machine for Noble Comics, a lot of stuff, Dr. Fate, became the writer of the Batman newspaper comic strip. He's done a lot of stuff.
But
Green Lantern, Green Arrow.
I'll tell you what happened or how it happened. It just tells you that I don't know if he still is this minute, but he was homeless at a point in time.
No, but he's not. He and his wife were. I was reading this because Michael Marcus had an editorial in here, and he was homeless off and on for a few years. He hasn't been in demand from the comics companies and stuff, and he hasn't been able to make a living. This was a benefit. The proceeds, the money that was raised from selling this, and also from people donating money, managed to find a home for him and his wife.
Oh, okay. I did not know. I didn't know if I didn't see that. Maybe, but
yeah, I believe they are listed. They're listed. They're living in assisted living now.
Oh, okay.
And William Bill Loebs, he's still doing comics. You might see some of his stuff in Yeet. Yeet
this
Presents.
Is the force behind this is Michael Marcus,
right.
who does his own comics, but he saw a need and he organized this, got it going, got the artists to contribute,
and got some amazing stuff.
Published it. Now these stories, I will tell you, are not happy. They are about homeless people. All the stories. There's some great artwork in here, but they are, I would say, a little depressing. There's not too many happy endings in here.
There's one or two, but mostly the best. Like this story by Bill Bryan called Steps. In the beginning. Go ahead, because I'm still searching.
Okay, I was just going to say that the homeless situation still goes on. And these funds, any more of these funds, will go toward that, trying to help homeless people. And I think you know from watching the news, we've got a lot of cities with a lot of homeless in them. Yep. And that's what a lot of these, a lot of the cartoons in here are about that, I will tell you.
Book, and a particular story, one story in particular that really stood out, Frank, by J.R. Mounts, about this guy Frank, and the little girl who befriends him, and he lives in a box like this one.
Yeah, I kind of had open to the middle of this one, yeah. But anyway, that's right, it's another homeless story. But
and he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Like, all homeless people aren't scary people. There are some decent people who've just been down on their luck. Yeah. And in this case, he's been surviving by going through trash cans and finding what's left of an apple or whatever of this guy. But he finds some paper that's all bundled up there, and he makes a little doggy out of it. He folds it up, makes a little doggy, and gives it to the little girl. She says, "A dog."
Yeah, there you go.
And it's poignant as heck. She just happens to have a little bit of money on her,
and she gives him
so she says, and he's like, "Oh, that's very, very nice of you, but I can't take your money." And she says, "You're not taking it. I'm buying my doggy from you." I get more allowance in a couple of days. Yeah, she gets an allowance, and
she bought it. Yeah.
And so she bought the little doggy, and they're both happy.
If I can get it right. There he's still got his cardboard box with him, and he just kind of walks away with his
walking
house.
Away, dragging his mobile home behind him.
Right. So, kind of a neat little story, and number of other stories in here, all about homeless, not all happy, but
now there's a story from David Brandstetter, apparently a real life story. And David Brandstetter, I've known him for a long time. He's a great artist, great writer. He was chairman of the UFO for a while back, and I believe I took over from the chairmanship from him. But at one point in his life, and he's discussing it here, with some beautiful artwork, some nice shading, nice, just gorgeous stuff here. Looks like a lot really wordy, but it's not. Doesn't read like it's overly wordy. And he talks about when he was homeless, and a lady, or he wasn't homeless like out on the street. Somebody took him in. A friend took him in and allowed him to live in the garage in her house. I was a person who was sympathetic to people who were down on their luck, and she allowed other people to live there. At one point, he found out that, well, for instance, things, he moved in, but he noticed things were missing, and here he is looking he's at her room, and she has an alarm clock that used to belong to him. Well, oops. Yep. And how the heck did it get in her room?
Yeah, right.
He needs it because he's trying, and this is apparently slice of life. The real David Brandstetter himself talking about when he found a job and he needed the alarm clock because all of a sudden he had a job. People say, get a job, get a job. Here's a guy who was trying, and he did. He did find a job, and he made his way back, and eventually he says he got back into college, bought a TV and a futon, and finally a place of his own.
He is on the futon, right there.
And he says, I even got a job at Circle K. Turned out I liked it. That's a cool story. And David Branstetter, kudos to David Branstetter. David, if you're watching this, I'll send you the link. But wow, always knew you were a great talent. I always knew that your artwork came from your heart, and this just gives me a little more appreciation for you, and you know what you've been through, and what you have turned it into, and you've turned it into sort of a creative masterpiece of a story here. So, just
on the
to say
back cover, they show you all the people that helped with the project. I don't think these are all
people.
Not that many artists, but I mean the artists are included. But these are other people that have donated and helped out in this cause, and it's a never-ending cause.
Well, obviously,
so that's really great.
We can't. There's so many people who contributed to this wonderful book. I don't have time to go through it all. There's, who did this story? What is this story about a guy living paycheck to paycheck? Okay, homeless, and we've heard this story, but every story is a little bit different.
Yeah.
And this one. Well, this one just happens to have some really superlative artwork.
Yeah, that one does.
This is towards the end of the book. Just incredible artwork, and you know they're showing the intolerance that this person who's down on his luck. There are people who are very intolerant towards these folks, and I mean, look at this.
Yeah, I was just going to
He's going through his life story. So I think just looking at this, and I read it a few nights ago, so I'd have to go back through it. The guy offers him money. He's giving him money. What happens? This guy was really hateful towards him in the beginning. He was really hateful towards him, and then he. The protagonist
the point is throwing money at the problem won't solve it.
Right.
I think that's what they're saying here, if I remember right.
I got to figure out who drew this. What page is this?
I don't know, but anyway, the point is that throwing money at the problem, which that can be done fairly easy, but that's not the whole story. It takes more than throwing money to help these people. So,
yeah, and apparently somebody tried to rob this guy. Somebody tried to rob this guy, and our homeless friend jumped in and stopped him.
Yeah.
So then the guy, all of a sudden, he treated him like dirt before, but now all of a sudden he was offering money. So guess what he does? He tosses the money aside, says, I don't need your money.
Yeah.
That's not what he wants.
No, that is not going to solve the problem. So, anyway, that's the book.
What a great book. I got to hand it.
Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Yep. And we got more.
Michael Marcus, you outdid yourself on this one. He knows it too. I sent him an email, but he was humble about it. He just said that he was very proud of the book, and he deservedly so. This is an awesome book.
Yeah.
So, and it really helped out. He helped somebody out. He helped out William Messner Loebs. So.
That's what it was for originally.
That's great.
Yeah. Okay, what do you got next?
I got one from Bob Corby. This one is Plans number 3.
Plans number 3. Right here.
Right. I think we might have reviewed number 2.
I think we might have.
I think so. This is our 48th video, and sometimes like
on the back. And Bob says, there's no reason for this to be on the back, except I liked it.
Right. That's from Keith Newsome.
Yeah, from Keith Newsome. And right.
One of my favorite people.
About Keith here in a minute, but
one of our favorite people whom we met at Space. We're going to get to more Keith Newsome here shortly.
Yeah. But I thought that was kind of funny. I have no reason for this to be on the back. I just liked it.
But it's got 3 stories in here by Bob Corby himself.
Yeah.
And Bob is quite an extraordinary talent. We all know him as the guy who, he puts space together and all
but
this.
He does a lot of comics too.
Right. This is Mr. Riff. Mr. Riff is a guy
coming out of the television here.
Mm-hmm.
And he
has a guitar, like a Stratocaster that has all these. It's kind of powerful. It's a mystical, powerful guitar.
The guy with the guitar doesn't look like Mr. Rift. I was a little confused there. I may have missed something, but
okay. I have to read back. I think that's him when he was younger.
Is that it? Okay, because he didn't exactly.
That's what I think. Bob, if we got it wrong, let me know. But I think that's it because the story goes back years ago, and to something that happened. Mr. Rift had a wife and I believe a daughter, and something happened. The wife became involved in a band, Christian Blood Moon, and they're doing a concert. Look at that artwork, man. That's really nice. That's really unique. That it just puts you in another realm. Another you can say another dimension, but another world for sure.
Yeah, there's
a magical world.
Some demons in here that show up.
Yeah. So let me see what happens here.
Yeah.
Again, I read this a few days ago. Let me jog my memory.
You got to read it kind of carefully.
Okay, apparently, she, the wife, I guess she's the wife, she says, let this dagger, she has a dagger, be an instrument. She's become drawn into sort of a sinister nightmare, demonic world.
Kind of thing,
cult sort of a thing, expressed through the music and everything, and she kills herself on stage.
Yeah. And that releases, when she does that, that releases a demon right there.
A demon.
Yeah.
And she becomes involved in a, because she did it, and she died. But
but the demon came out.
Right, there's it's like a deal with the devil. Every year, she has to somehow unleash another demon. And her daughter gets involved with this. It's a little complicated.
It's
a
little complicated. It's a little tricky to follow. You can take your time and figure this out as you go along. But another demon is released.
Right there.
Right there. Yeah.
And Mr. Riff is using the power of that guitar to combat the demon. But more demons arise. And anyway, the story involves the wife, the mom. She is a ghost, and she appears throughout the issue. The daughter is caught between the world of the living and the world of the dead. She's trapped, and she can't have peace until she's released from it. And at one point, Mr. Riff does figure out a way, and he tries it. Where am I at? Maybe it's on the other page?
I think.
Be free.
And then
he's trying to save his daughter, apparently.
Free. Thank you, Rift Bill.
Yeah, I guess it's his daughter. I mean, I'd have to reread the story.
I don't know.
But you see, she's flying up, and she's off, and she's going to be happy.
Yeah.
Now, Bob has if you know much about Bob, you know that his wife Kathy passed away a few years ago. She had ALS, and Bob has a short page here where he talks about an ALS walk that he takes every year for ALS.
He does back here.
I guess
right
to raise awareness or whatever about this terrible disease, and it's pretty poignant just to see that. I can't imagine. I mean, it must be tough,
Yeah.
When you
And
lose
then
the one you
the
love.
book, if you look back here, the book is, talks about the ALS Association, how you can join or donate to it or whatever you
how
want
you
to do.
can donate and do what you can to help stop the spread of this terrible disease.
Right.
And then, but Bob goes on because that's what Bob does. He keeps moving ahead every year. I'm honored. I'm proud to have met him and go to space. And space has been going on a long time, and Bob keeps moving ahead. And we got another story here. This is actually part 2 of a story called Gremlin. And
I realized that this was part 2 after a while.
I should have gone back and dug up the previous
I
issue
should have too,
plan.
because I couldn't quite follow it because I didn't know.
Yeah, but apparently
It was.
you can see this fantastic artwork, this otherworldly artwork.
Yeah,
and
some robots in here, which are always important to have robots.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got a team of people, a team of heroes, especially a couple of these heroes here. This one lady who reminds us of the Silver Surfer. I remember the second issue because I remember that she was kind of like the Silver Surfer. But there's a team of good guys, but they're traveling to another world or to another dimension. These days, when you have all these multiverses, it's hard to keep up, but
I like the character in the middle, the right panel in the middle. I like that guy.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I see that guy there. He has something to do. I mean, you get to, there's a battle, they're battling robots, and they're doing everything, and the ending, it goes, for the last several pages, it becomes wordless.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You have to follow it, and there's no word balloons.
And the ending is a little bit ambiguous. I guess the good guy's won out because
I'm not sure.
Well, you see the guy you were pointing to just a minute ago, that funny looking guy. There's this big robot guy right here, and it seems like his face, the other guy's face, kind of appears in his face.
You got me. You got me, Bob.
And you see the two ladies, the two superheroines of the story, watching as these people all these certain mystical entities all kind of wander off into the darkness.
Well, this is $3 from Bob, right there, and you can figure it out for yourself.
I love that back cover. It is Ditko style. You're right.
Yeah.
It says Ditko style right there. Yeah. And great job. Great job by Keith Newsome. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one.
Okay, let's go on.
Well, since we're talking about Keith Newsome.
Oh, okay.
Keith gave us a number of comics, and he gave us. But, okay, normally, we ask people, if we're going to review your comics, give us 2 copies of each comic. One to Larned and one to me, so that we can both have the same comic. I mean, we live 4 states or 5 states apart, so... but Keith was, nonetheless, Keith was kind enough to stop by our table, and he dropped off like 9 comics. And all of them are short, and all of them are great. But we had to split them up between us.
Yeah, so I've got 4.
And I got 5.
4.
So
and I don't know if you have any of the same ones. No.
No, we have different ones.
They're all different.
The thing. Keith gave us 9 different comics.
Yeah.
And we totally appreciate it, and they're all awesome. I mean, I enjoyed reading these so much. They're easy to read. They're not long. Each one is one story in itself.
And of course, his artwork is very good. Very good.
Yeah. some of these are have Tom Felrath as an assistant editor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what all Tom did.
I didn't even know he knew Tom Ralph.
Well, some of what you got. What you got there?
What have I got?
Mm-hmm.
I got Space Station 5.
Uh-huh.
Have you got that?
Nope.
No?
No,
Okay.
no, we split them up. We have different ones, but that's okay. We'll talk about it very quickly.
Yeah, we have to kind of zip through them. I'm going to say one thing. None of these are very happy endings. Mine. They're not. They're not. They're a little kind of. The stories are kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
Great
yeah,
artwork.
A couple of those too.
Yeah, great artwork here is.
Keith is obviously.
He dreams. This one, he dreams his son had a brain tumor.
Actually, that's a fact.
And he wakes up. Yeah, he does talk about that. But what he does is he wakes up from the dream. Holy mackerel, glad that wasn't real. And then his son starts telling him he's having these headaches and he's got all kinds of mental, or not mental, but physical problems. And so he has to rush his real son to the emergency room.
Yeah. And
that's kind of how it ends.
So was that was it a premonition? You think?
Yeah, it was a dream he had, and then he thought it was all over, but his son was exhibiting real symptoms. So, and he does write about in the back here about his experience with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but
apparently his son is recovering, so that's the good news.
I think so. Yeah, I think he's doing
good. I got one here called Fallen Heights.
Okay.
You got a guy, he's looking for a job, and he's afraid of heights. And the person he has to be interviewed by is at the top of a very tall building. And so he's he has like a brother or a little friend or something that he's talking with at the beginning. Why does he live up there? You know, this little guy, and he's playing with like you can't really see it here, but it's like a little snake. He's playing with a snake, but it's not a real snake. It's a plastic snake. And so he gives the guy his briefcase, and the guy goes upstairs. He goes up all these floors to the very top to be interviewed. Now, the guy that he's interviewing is a guy who has phobias. Phobias about snakes and stuff like that. But when he opens his briefcase, there's a plastic snake in there that his little friend put in there for a joke, but it causes the other guy to jump out the window.
Oh my gosh!
Potential boss. So that didn't turn out too well.
That didn't turn out.
Yeah, but darn, it's really, really beautifully illustrated.
Yeah, here's a fatigue, and this is he writes inside. This is his first attempt after being out of small press for a while, and what an attempt for coming back. There's a football field from a view above, and the story is about a football injury during the game. A player gets injured, but it's pretty serious. In fact, the guy dies from the injury, and the story is about him trying to try to cover that up. We don't want to say too much about that. And people are kind of fighting back against that. And so anyway, it goes on. It's got a little different, another part to the story, which is not very happy either.
Keith is obviously a deep thinker. He's a deep thinker. He can be very serious. He's also a very nice guy. So if you meet him,
to show one thing, because what Keith normally does, and this is just black and white, but he does these dragon posters in full color, And we saw them at this table. They are unbelievable.
Yeah, if you check out the video we did of the Space Con just a few videos back,
yeah,
you'll see
we had a couple
Pete's
shots
table
of that. Yeah, I was saying.
all the prints he had in full color, some in full color, some in black or white.
And very, very cool.
Very intricate.
Yeah, I am missing a price on any of these. I don't see it. I'll put his contact information below.
Yeah.
And you can ask him for a few of these. I don't see a price on them.
Okay.
He can tell you what they cost and take a look. Great artwork. Stories are deep, very deep, but you know,
very readable. I mean, you go by them quick. I mean,
fast, but
I got 5 of these. I read through them very quick. The stories are short, they're concise, and they're fascinating.
Yeah, I don't know if yours were a little sad endings, but mine were.
This one's called A Tight Space. There's a lady, she wants to get on the elevator, but the elevator's full. She says, I will wait for the next one, thanks. So she waits for the next one, but the next one is full as well. And on. She keeps waiting for the next one. Yep. And somebody says, I'm scared of tight spaces. Someone's standing next to her. Finally, she doesn't find an empty one, but she does find one that she can fit into. So, I mean, she's afraid. She's claustrophobic. She's afraid of tight spaces.
Yeah.
So she finally gets on, and then all of a sudden, inside the elevator, the lights go out.
Oh no.
Yeah, and you can hear you see people. No. What do we do now? Stay calm, everyone. Don't touch me. Oh no, we're stuck. Too dark. Who has a phone? And it goes on, and people can't see anything. They're in the darkness, and they're trapped in this elevator. Remember, she has this fear of tight spaces. She's claustrophobic. What? Touching. Somebody hit me. Somebody says, I got stabbed. Stop touching me. And it goes on and on and on. One guy says, I'm dying. Tell my wife I love her. And you talk about not having a happy ending. Well,
really?
I don't want to show you the ending, but let me cover it up, man. But yeah, it's not a happy ending. The fire department shows up to get everybody out, and you have to buy it to learn the ending. But trust me, you won't forget it. You won't forget it. It's really good. It's really well done. Now, yeah, go ahead. Your turn.
Couldn't finish with mine.
Yeah? Okay, I got another one here.
Got another one? Okay.
Yeah, you remember, you saw this one because we talked about this. You couldn't read the title.
Oh, yeah.
When we were at Space. And
we did.
What does that say? There's a reason you can't read the title. The title is... I just saw it somewhere here. Okay, it's Blind White. Blind White. So what we're seeing is there's people and they're trapped in a snowstorm.
Oh my gosh.
And it's blinding snowstorm. So there's no artwork at all. There's just captions in here.
I'll have to remember that. Those are easy to draw.
Yeah, that might have taken him a long time to draw, but I'll tell you what, he's a lot better letterer than I am. Even that would have took me quite a while, and I wouldn't have been near as good. So, but it's for the effect of the story, it's perfect. He says, "Where are we?" And somebody says, "A blinding snowstorm," and he says, "They call that snow blind." He says, "It hurts my eyes." He says, "It's bright everywhere." So one guy, he can't see anymore. My fault. Somebody says something about it's his fault, and he says, the other guy says, well, we were in a wreck. He says, hey, are you cold? The other guy says, you are a moron. Why do you keep saying that? I just said we crashed. It turns out they crashed in a blinding snowstorm, and they're trapped in it. And that's pretty much the story. Again, there's an ending that makes you think, that makes you go like, oh, you know. But I'm not giving away the endings. But even he's so great. Keith is such a talent. Even without his beautiful
artwork, he's still got a great story.
We still got a story. We got a great story, even without an expressive cover. And in its own way, it is expressive because it's not expressive. So that expresses the whole thing he's talking about. Yep.
Okay, let's see here. I got. How about Corby?
Oh, I still got a couple more of Keith Newsome's.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
I'll very quickly. I will tell you, this one is cool. This is called Breathing Life. You see, this guy is so talented. I'm so impressed. Keith, if you're watching this, I'm really impressed. You never run out of ideas. You know how? Here's a guy. Breathing Life, it's called. And the guy finds a little twig with a leaf on it. Looks almost like a human being right here. And he tries to breathe life into it. Well, guess what? It turns out only God can breathe life into a figure. And on this one, I guess I'll give you the ending on this one. Turns out he gives up. He cannot make this come to life. He says, "Fine, you win," and it's the devil. Yeah, because only God can breathe life.
To breathe life into something, huh?
Yeah. So okay, I cheated on that one, and then there's another one. Love could. This one's definitely not happy, but it has to do with love. Two views of love. Love could be like this. Or it shouldn't look like this. This one actually has to do with domestic abuse. Domestic abuse. So it says love could be, well, like this, but instead sometimes it's like this, and so it deals with domestic abuse, and it just shows both sides of what love can be, and unfortunately it doesn't always turn out the way it should. So, but that's Keith. Definitely, he's a deep thinker. And you're right. Let's go on to Corby.
Corby is quite the opposite. Quite the opposite of. These are all fun. These are. Corby is a duck, by the way.
He's a duck.
And Jordan Curian is the artist. And this is available on Amazon. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. In color, full color. Beautiful.
Full color, and it's $20 on Amazon. Let me get that out of the way first. But the gist of this is, and I'll just randomly open because they are 3- and 4-panel gags, page after page, with like 3 on a page, and they consist of 3 and 4
100 pages. 100 pages.
100 pages here of Corby. So, I mean, you just have to see it and read it. You know, lighthearted. You know, little gags, one after another. I don't know how he could possibly think of them all, but he did.
Corby and his friends. His friend bought him a picture of from his father. A baby picture, and there's a baby picture of Corby right there. Because he's a duck.
So it's stuff like that all the way through. You know, funny little gags. No story, just a series of panels, strips. 4 and 3.
He's got friends. One of his friends is a goose.
I think they reappear sometimes. You know, these characters reappear in different strips.
Playing a game, duck, what does it say? Duck, goose. Duck, goose. And he says, I'm a joke to these people. Just a joke, what does it say? For kids. And then the goose pops in there and says, well, how do you think I feel? And there's the goose. But there's a lot of gags. I mean, it's a combination of Charles Schultz,
Carl Barks,
and everybody who's ever done great funny animal comics. It's really there's a lot here, a lot of characters.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got this guy Otto. He's not the most enthusiastic person in the world. How are you doing today, Otto? And he says, "Oh, well, not bad." He says, "What does it say?" I'd say like 75% bad, but not all bad. So he's not the happiest person in the world. At one point, he puts on a wig because he's self-conscious about his hair loss. That doesn't work out either, but it's just a lot of stuff.
Here's one here. I'll show you.
Oh, there he is.
Have you ever met any birds of prey? It says right here. And in the next panel, it says, "Oh, sure, I've met tons of them." And in the third panel, it says, "After all, my mom took me to church every Sunday." Birds of prey. Birds of prey.
Birds of prey. I get it.
You got it, don't you?
Some of the jokes are silly. You got to think about them for a second, and you go, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, you got to think about them.
Yep.
So, 100 pages. 100 pages of Gordy.
And there's some
strips.
poignant stuff. One of his friends. Very innocent. Okay, let me see what we got here. This guy meets a girl in the library or at a book club. They're both friends of Gordy's. Where am I at?
Going the wrong way.
The first panel is here. Where's my finger? Oh, okay.
There you go.
So, what a fun book club. I really enjoyed coming to the library more. About that, this guy says, "I was wondering if you, that is, you and me," and she's like, "If you were asking me to go on a date, the short answer is yes." He says, "The short answer. What's the long answer?" Yes! And you see all the hearts and everything. And it's really cute and it's moving, you know. And then, in the next panel, well, they're getting along. Somewhere along the line, he kisses her on the cheek, or she kisses him on the cheek, and it brings, it shows you kind of innocence, when you're young, and you're a young guy, and you want to ask a girl on a date, but you don't want to be rejected and all that, and it's kind of cute. It's really cute.
Now this is available from Amazon, and he also mentions it's in libraries across the country, which I find interesting. That's nice. I think.
Yeah, he's got it in a library somewhere there. Yeah, I sent you a link about
in
that.
libraries across the country. There is one little thing that I would mention. I think it would be a good idea to put your contact information inside the book, especially if it's in a library, because people could read, and maybe want more of your stuff, and there's no contact information in the book at all. So I would kind of do that if, like I say, especially if it's going to be in a library. So anyway, I'll have the contact information that I have in the description.
I like this one. This is a society obsessed with labels. Are you a boy or a girl? You a religious duck? Are you a conservative or a liberal? Are you one of them millennials? Are you a hipster? That sweater is so ironic. Do you like boys or girls? And he says, always be who and what you are. Me, I'm a Gordy.
There you go.
There you go. Leave me alone. I am who I am.
Yep.
And that's all what I am.
I am what I am.
I am what I am.
So that's Gordy. Pretty cool. Pretty cool book.
This is great. 100 pages of really nice comics. And Jordan Carrion, and I did meet him at the convention. Things were so busy. I got these books, and I went over to the other table, and I forgot who I got them from. I had to send him a message. Did I get something from you? He said, yeah, we met. And okay, so I got it from him directly. He was there, and he is an extraordinarily talented young man.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff. There's aliens in here. There's and 100 pages. There's a lot of stuff you can put. But it's not a grueling read. It's really easy to read.
No.
And I read the entire book. And it just naturally flows from one strip to the next strip. It's not overwritten. It's just it's just right. It's just funny and it's
relaxing read. Yeah,
yeah. You could read this. You can read this in bed before you go into sleep every night.
Right.
Yeah.
And you won't have nightmares.
Yeah. So highly recommended.
Yeah.
Corby.
Very good.
Jordan Kurian.
Yeah. Okay, back to our friend Bob Corby with his annual comics. This is the one for this year from 2023, and the theme, if I don't cover it up, is coffee.
Coffee.
Now, anybody can contribute to this, and a bunch of people do. And
including Larry Justin has something in this book, folks. I mean, for that reason alone.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to pass this one by.
Right. It's only $6, and you can get a one-page strip from me included. How can you go wrong? I mean, you just can't go wrong.
Guess who did that cover?
I don't remember.
Newsome. That's Keith Newsome.
There you go, the guy we were just talking about.
Keith Newsome in full color, and wow, that's really a nice cover. There's something about the texture too of the book that makes it like you just want to keep doing this to it, But
these are all the contributors right here. Look at that. Look how many people contributed to this book.
A lot of people. It's like,
a bunch.
And I'm sorry I wasn't able to get into that. Maybe next year when he does the next one, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. But they're all about coffee. All the stories are about coffee. And
you mentioned. Okay, wait a minute.
Bunch of different.
So,
where's
Larned Justin's? Oh, page 61.
Page 61. Okay.
Page 61.
Wait a minute. On page 51, that's our friend Carol Crum.
Oh, yeah.
51.
And Thigh-Bone Jones.
Thigh-Bone Jones. 2 pages. This page, which is this page, and this page, which is another page.
And you can see it's the usual madness that we expect from Kel Crum.
Kel Crum. Yeah.
Don't expect anything that's in the realm of normalcy.
No.
It's going to be extreme, and it's going to be hilarious.
So he's in there. Oh, you said I'm on 61. Let me go look.
Kel pulling out the stops once again. Page 61. Starbucks coffee.
Starbucks coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, the guy says, "Can I get a small hazelnut coffee with 2 sugars and cream? What size?" A small hazelnut coffee with 2 sugars and cream. She says, "What flavor?" He says, "Hazelnut, 2 sugars and cream." I know you've experienced this before.
I've been there.
Yeah. She says, "Black?" He says, "No, 2 sugars and cream to go." And he's getting really frazzled by this point.
Yeah, he's pretty upset.
And she said, "Here or to go?" And he says, "To go. I want to go. To go." So,
well, there you go.
But there are some people, often on the other side of the counter when you go to a certain establishment or whatever, and some people are kind of dense.
Attention to what you're saying. They're only thinking about what they're saying. They pay no attention to you whatsoever. And that was my example of that.
Right. A perfect example. And that's Marley going off the rails. Is that a guy? That's a guy, isn't it?
What's that? The guy with the ponytail? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a guy. Okay.
You have to have a ponytail if you work in
these days, you never know. You see a guy with a ponytail and earrings, and it's like, who knows?
I don't think you can work there if you don't have a ponytail. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And there's a lot of other.
Yeah.
A lot of other great stuff.
Here's
What
a
you
guy.
got?
Look at this guy. He's gonna drink a cup of coffee. Let me turn the page here. And he says, that's a first sip. It's life-changing. Prepare for liftoff. He's getting a little reaction to the coffee there.
Right. Some people get a real cocaine-like buzz off coffee. They show that.
Boom. He is way up there, and then what fun! So that was
one of my favorite ones is this one by Ron Hill, B.B. Bluesbird and 12 Cup Blues.
Oh, yeah.
This guy with a guitar, I guess he's going to play at a nightclub, and he's out walking in the rain. By the time he gets there, welcome, Mr. B.B. He's like B.B. King, but he's not really. He's like, where's the stage? He's already frazzled because he's been walking in the rain, and then when he gets up on stage, I don't know if he's afraid or if he's just cold from walking in the rain. Good evening. But you get to the next page, and he's having a hard time, so somebody recommends to him, you want some coffee?
There you
He's
go.
like, no thanks. So you're shaking like a leaf. Get some hot Java in you. He says, I never drank it. The guy says, first time for everything. So he gives him some coffee, and so give him some coffee, and then, well, here's what happens once the coffee hits him. Zap!
Boing.
Zap! Right there. Boing!
Yeah.
And he goes nuts. He gives like the performance of a lifetime here.
Yeah. He's really going there. Look at that. He's really going.
Yeah. At the end of it, it's the next morning, and he's kind of like hung over from the coffee. BB, your uncaffeinated heart beats 600 times a minute. He says, never more. But apparently that was the performance of his entire. I mean, look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, boy, he was hitting them notes. Yes. Sir.
Yeah. There's so much good stuff in this, front to back.
And Nick Durga, Amoeba Adventures, all the way from New Zealand.
Right, with Prometheus.
Yeah.
Is in
all
there
the way
somewhere.
From New Zealand, yeah.
What page is that on?
15.
15?
Uh-huh.
Where's the front? Yep. Prometheus, the protoplasm. The thing that looked like coffee but was not coffee. And Nick Durga, he's kind of a legend. I mean, he's been doing this for a long time.
Long time.
And he was gone for a while, and we're so glad to see him back. And here's something, I mean, you would see in every day, anywhere, in any small town of America, you got a giant protoplasm pushing a shopping cart. And he's looking for coffee.
What else do protoplasms do?
Right, on your day off, what do you do? But this particular, what if these the coffee beans that he got, what if these were not ordinary coffee beans? What if these beans were accidentally irradiated by a communist spy who became radioactive while trying to steal nuclear secrets? You know what? Did this appear? We reviewed something else by Nick Durga. And
he just sent something not too long ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe we reviewed the same story. It doesn't matter. It's worth reviewing again.
I don't think it was the same story. I don't remember.
Or maybe I saw highlights or something. But
look familiar to you?
It looks kind of familiar. But anyway, it's still great. The coffee becomes a life of its own. It comes out of the coffee pot and becomes a menacing figure creeping up behind Prometheus, and just a monster searching for him. And the only way to stop the coffee is to trap him in the refrigerator.
Here's
so
a one
trap him
page.
in the refrigerator.
Yeah. Here's a one page. Just one page, but it's pretty cool. Dreaming in coffee. So it's a whole dream sequence in coffee.
That's page 22. That's by J.M. Hunter.
Pretty
Oh,
cool.
we got, on the next page, you got Brian Canini.
Yes.
Brian Canini. A story about a guy who's trying to escape from the modern world and goes out camping in the woods. He's going to have a life for his own, a life free from all the madness that is that you find in the cities. Something happened. Well, he burns his car. I mean, his car, I guess he did it on purpose. He burns his car. He's
going to live in the woods from now on.
He's going to live in the woods. He's very happy. The sunshine and nature. And, of course, you know, it seems like nothing ever goes like it's supposed to. He wakes up with a bad headache. And it turns out he's not used to going without coffee.
Yeah.
But he finds some berries. He finds some berries as he's wandering around. He finds some berries on the ground, and he eats the berries, and he starts to feel better. Somewhere along the line here, he's feeling better. Doesn't look that way in these pictures, but I'm telling you, he's feeling better because we haven't got to the next page yet. Okay, the next page. Yeah. Okay. Well, by the end of it, he realizes that these berries are actually deer droppings. So it's deer poop, but the deers have been eating coffee beans, and so this.
He does say coffee. He says right here, "I've had worse coffee." So, you know,
I've had some that tasted not that good too, you know.
A little bit like deer poop, but
yeah.
Yeah.
We got some madness here from Michael Carroll. Michael Carroll here, Agents of Espresso. This one's pretty wild. This one also has a giant blob of a coffee-like creature. Apparently, if it appears in more than one story, then it's true. There has to be, these blob-like coffee creatures must be out there somewhere.
Well, I would think so. If there's more than one story about them.
Yeah,
I would
so we have to avoid them.
Yeah.
And on and on and on. There's just so much great stuff in here. Bob Corby, from the issues of old comics that I've seen and the other stuff that I've seen from, he always assembles the best, the finest of the small press. We got
Matt Levin has a
Walking
rubber
Man
stamp story in here. If you know Matt Levin, he's been doing rubber stamps for 172 years.
Absolutely. Walking Man Comics.
Walking Man Comics, yes.
Yep. And didn't you tell me you saw that he had all these rubber stamps on the wall, all these images or something?
Wasn't me.
You? Somebody said that Matt Levin has such a huge collection of images, and then like all covered one big wall or something like that. Somebody told me that.
Because he can tell a story with all his rubber stamps, so he must have all kinds of them. You know.
Yeah. So very creative.
Yeah.
There you go. Good friend to know. Coffee. Don't drink too much, because you know it gives you jitters all over. Now he is a good writer too. He writes a very poetic type of style. Don't drink too fast. Best to savor it slow. And here we go. The effects once again of the caffeine, portrayed by an excellent artist. It's funny, yeah. I guess I used to get that kind of effect when I was younger. And now I just kind of like, it's coffee. What do you want?
Yeah, right.
But oh my goodness. Just going through.
Here's Pam Bliss.
Oh yeah, one of our favorites.
There's Pam Bliss, right there.
At Woolly's Diner. And that would be...
The notebook at Woolly's Diner.
The Woolly Mammoth, right?
That's the Woolly Mammoth. And there's the Woolly Mammoth having
that's
coffee.
on page 45. Let's see.
Yeah. It's quite a bit to read there for us right now, but
Yeah.
it's good.
But she got this style. She doesn't exactly she doesn't draw like exact panels. She does
No.
on this page, but on some
Sometimes she
pages
doesn't,
it's
yeah.
like a big sort of a poetic construction.
Yeah.
With art and you know, and words and it all coming together in, you know, kind of a lyrical style almost, you know. Whimsical,
You know,
lyrical.
and what's cool here, you may not see this a lot in diners, but everyone here is doing the puffer coat dance at this
Yeah.
diner. Like I say, you may not see that all the time in a diner, but
The puffer coat dance.
the puffer coat dance, you can't move your arms in a puffer coat, so I think you just move your legs. Your
Yeah.
arms just stay extended or wherever they're at. They don't move.
And she has, below that she says, I wrote this one with an arrow. So I don't know if she wrote
Well, I assume.
a song about it or created the dance. In any case,
I don't know. Oh, I don't
It's
know if
there.
she does. She may even do the puffer dance if she has a puffy coat. I don't know.
yeah.
But anyway, and she says, I wish I could stay at Willie's Diner all day.
Nice artwork.
Yeah.
Really nice. Yeah.
So all kinds of stuff in here.
Yeah.
You can look at this for a long time. This is 90, let's see,
It goes on and on and on.
100 pages.
There's something towards the
100
end.
100 pages here for $6.
A really, really wild science fiction story towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
With a strange-looking alien creature, and it's called Too Much Coffee Talk.
Uh-huh.
And this one's kind of long, kind of complicated. It's got images that look like they might be AI,
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
but there's a lot of really interesting artwork in this one. It's pretty cool stuff. But there's so much in here, like you were saying, Larned.
There's a lot to it. I think anybody would enjoy this. You know, even just for $6 for 100 pages.
Oh,
I don't
that's a
see how you
steal.
can go
That is
wrong.
an absolute steal. I mean, for that price.
How could you go wrong? So,
Yeah.
what a great book. Yep. So,
Okay,
well,
just as an afterthought.
oh yeah, we do.
Because
have
we were at Space, and
Yeah.
Bob was kind enough to give us an older issue of Old Comics. Just want to mention this. This one's came out in 1999, so it's 24 years old.
24 years old.
Sparky by J. Kevin Carrier, you know, Lady Spectrum and Sparky. But it's 24 years old, so we're not going to get into it. There's some Larry Blake artwork here.
Mm-hmm.
But I did want to mention it because he was kind enough to give us a free
Yeah,
copy
he gave
of
it to
this.
us, and that was really nice. Really nice.
And
you can get this if you want to. $7.95 from Bob.
mhm.
It's older, you know, but
There's some of Bob's art right here.
yeah.
Fantastic. I love those textures and the
Guess
stippling
what
there.
this is? 152 pages.
Yeah, it's
How
a
about that?
massive.
Yeah.
It's a massive comic. It's a masterpiece
Yeah.
of sorts.
So
I
that's
thought I-
available from Bob Corby, I believe. And, you know, he may have been running out of these when he handed some of these out free.
Yeah.
He may have been running out of these. I'm not sure.
Because they're on sale for 24 years, folks. So,
Yeah. So they've
but
been
there's
out for a while.
I recognized Michael Nino's work right away. I was saying, is that Michael
Okay.
Nino? A story written
Yeah.
by Bob and
Mhm.
drawn by Michael Nino. Very nice.
And
One of our
Larry
favorites.
Blake. You can see Larry Blake right there.
Yeah, the great Larry Blake.
Great Larry Blake. He's in there.
Poignantly,
And
I will
he
mention.
used to go to space every year.
Yeah.
I met him a number of times at space.
We were hoping to see him this year, but he
Yeah.
has health problems and stuff.
Yeah, not doing too well, but anyway, I met him a number of times at space, so.
Yeah. Well, he still has plenty of heart and soul, and in fact, Larry and I are planning some stuff together in the future.
Oh,
so
good.
There's
That's
more
awesome.
stuff
Looking
coming
forward
up.
to that. Yeah.
This was too old for comics. I want to mention this because this was the artwork of Johnny Gonzalez. Johnny Gonzalez, he's not around anymore. He's not with us anymore. But he did some work for me, I think, on a Dracula comic, I believe. And Floyd Sumner has kind of a, well, I remember he did a strip for me, and he wasn't around to do the next issue, and Floyd Sumner contributed artwork that was very similar to Johnny's. He kind of, and they were friends too. Floyd and Johnny Gonzalez were good friends, so. But it's really nice to see this artwork. He was quite good. Quite good. What he did with the solid blacks and the whites.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing his artwork around. I do remember that.
Yeah. He was an excellent artist.
So anyway, that was a pretty full show, I think.
Yeah. One last thing. There's always one last thing.
Oh, there's always one last thing.
24 years ago, Kel Crum had a story in here.
And Cornelia was quite young. You can notice how young she was 24 years ago.
Yeah, you can tell she's aged just a little bit.
A little, yeah, in the newer comics. Our favorite. Our favorite.
So anyway, yeah, absolutely.
All right. And remember what I said, those of you that sent those comic books in, we will be doing them in the next show, so look forward to that.
Like one other thing, really quick, gotta mention our Patreon page. We do have a Patreon page, people.
Just put up a new Patreon video today, as a matter of fact.
And I'll be doing one too. I have a couple of issues of Kel Crum's Cornelia cartoons that we're not going to review on this show. I'm going to review these on Patreon. So, Kel, you got to check out our Patreon page if you want to see the review.
Yeah, very
also,
good.
Sometimes people send me, maybe they can't afford to send out a lot of copies of their books. Jim Main just recently sent me a copy of Sci-Fi Shall Not Die, his newest science fiction title, as a PDF. And I do get PDFs from people sometimes. Jeff Wood sent me a PDF of his contribution for Rarabrazzle, which is an APA, funny animal APA and stuff. And I want to start reviewing these, but I would have to do them on Patreon. I have to do them in a separate location. Because they're PDF zines. And so,
yeah, a little different.
If it's a long zine, I'm not prepared to print out the entire book. So I have to sit here and look at the computer and talk about it and maybe give you a few screenshots.
Sure.
But that'll be coming up too on our Patreon page.
On the Patreon page, great.
So.
Great. So there you go, and here we go. I think we are done for the day. So
we done good.
We done good. Yeah, we done good.
I hope so. Anyway, right?
I don't know how soon we'll be back. Do you have any feeling as to how soon we may do the next show? Any idea?
Probably in 1 week.
Maybe in 1 week. We'd like to give the shows a chance to get some views. We've been getting close to 150 views, and I think for small press, that's pretty good. So we want to give the videos a time to get the views, and then we do a new one.
So hopefully next weekend, but there is stuff, there is some catching up on it. We got some books that I've received that, some of them are UFO zines, so I get those anyway, and sometimes Larned gets those too. But there's a bunch of stuff on my bed right here.
There you go.
Laid out right there, waiting to be reviewed. I've just got them all laid out flat, and I'm looking at them.
He sleeps on top of those.
I do. I sleep on top of my comics, and it gives me a nice dream.
Flattens them out a little bit.
Yeah, flattens them out.
Okay, I'm going to end this before we get into extreme silliness. So we will
already past that.
Roughly a week. So have a good day, and we will see you then.
All right, adios.